Welcome back to another week of Kernel at the Buzzer. Before this podcast starts, we want to remind you that everyone on today's podcast has their own opinions and they do not reflect the Kernel in entirety. Welcome back to another week of Kernel at the Buzzer. I'm your host, Kai McClelland. Once again, I'm joined by my co-host, Schill, my co-host, AJ Nava, and this week we're welcoming a UK athletics intern and a Kentucky Kernel reporter, Alex Gooch. Sporting a very cool costume, I may say.
Yeah, just thought I'd spice things up a little bit.
I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So there's no reason not to,
back.
realistically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thanks for coming back. I guess I forgot that we had you on here
no
before.
problem.
Honestly, the funnest episode we've ever done.
Most
so
fun.
It's cool to
Yeah,
have you
most
back.
fun.
It was the
Funnest
most
is the
fun
word.
grammar.
in the episode.
Funnest.
Okay. But
Thanks, guys.
we have a chance to top that here, and
I think we're off to
we're
a great
off to
start.
a pretty crazy start
Thank you.
with the banana
We'll
head.
see how it goes.
What are you talking about? I don't know what.
Can I
you're
have my
talking
sparkle
about.
intro, please? No.
No, that's the
sorry.
wrong one.
Dude.
Thank you.
There you go. I didn't remember which
Alex
one it was.
Gooch, ladies and
Preach.
Okay, we don't need to clap again.
I like the attention.
Basketball.
Woohoo.
All right.
I had to find a way to segue out of that as fast as we could.
I mean,
Thank God I control the slides.
All right, Kai, take us into
yeah.
it.
So, I mean, honestly, we've covered a lot of the guys that came in. There's two things that really happened in men's basketball this week. Izzy, can you kind of talk about the new commit that Kentucky just got from Florida?
Yeah, Denzel Aberdeen, definitely, a huge role on the national championship Gator squad this season. People were, very quick to say, why are they paying all this money for a bench guy or whatever, a guy who only averages 7 points a game? But when you kind of look at more so of the role he had on the team and not just what his numbers are. And so, 18 minutes in the national championship game, only had 7 points and 2 rebounds. But, somebody who's going to come in there with a lot of energy. And I think they're going to give him a lot more minutes off the bench this season than he was getting at Florida. But I think a great piece to round out that squad.
It's still interesting, too, because he's been thrown in some, mock starting lineups. And, it could be a guy that starts, and if he develops as well as people think he will. But, I mean, AJ, you're a Jasper Johnson guy, so I think you want him to start. But I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. It's a good pickup.
It's a great pickup.
I
I'm
think
forgetting
it's a
the
good
biggest thing. He won a natty. That's experience not many guys can say that they got, and he's bringing that to Kentucky. That's going to be huge for the team.
And it was like when Lamont kind of came after making that national championship run. You have a guy coming in who, all right, well, he just went the distance, and he knows everything that it takes to do it again. And so it's good to have somebody coming in. He only played like 18 minutes a game last season. So if he holds into that role, I think he'll be great. But I think he can excel out of it a little bit.
Absolutely.
And then last night, hours before the deadline, Travis Perry enters the portal.
I saw that.
Isn't that
Yeah.
so sad?
Yeah, I was
like
kind of shocked. I thought he was going to stay for sure.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that it's almost like Kirk Reese's situation, like wasn't going to play much, and probably wasn't going to be thrown onto the court as much as he was expecting. So, I mean, like,
You can't fault the
He
guy.
has-
He wants to play.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure it was
that's understandable.
You have a hard time
WKU.
seeing when you turn your head that way. You turn your head towards AJ, straight into the banana head.
I can do with my right
Wait,
eye.
Alex,
so-
look at me. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you
that's
just
right. She turned to look at you.
Kai, you
Sorry.
can't see, but half her
We gotta-
face disappeared.
We gotta lock back in.
Okay,
Come on,
but
lock back in.
going back to Travis, yeah, Mr. Basketball.
Yeah, he has
That's-
I'm pretty sure WKU, Cincinnati,
Yeah,
Ole Miss is
Xavier,
like the
Ole
number
Miss.
one.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, he's going to go there and play big minutes. So,
But it's also like you can't beat the BBN vibe. Like that's
No,
like, I
especially
know
if
he's
you're
gonna
from
miss it.
Kentucky,
Exactly.
too.
Like
Yep.
you know how Kentucky loves their Kentucky players.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna be missed for sure, and he's gonna miss it here. I think he's
he
gonna
will.
regret it.
I don't
did-
think he's going to regret it because it's like he's not going to the NBA and he only has 3 years left of eligibility. So he wants to go and get as much minutes as possible. And that's why I think he left realistically. But I'm sad that he left because I think he loved Kentucky and wanted to finish his career here.
If
But at
you
the
all-
same time, he achieved his dream. He did what he wanted to do growing up.
He did what he had to
He
do.
wore the big blue and got chance in Rupp Arena. So
Exactly.
can't fault the guy
if you
for
all
that.
want something to mess with like your timeline of events. When Travis Perry was in middle school, I saw a picture of him with De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I was like,
that's crazy.
it's crazy De'Aaron Fox played here so long ago, but it's also crazy to think about a kid that grew up here, had those pictures with I can't focus with Gooch. No.
No, it's
you're
okay.
fine,
We'll
it's
get used
funny.
to it. We'll get-
No.
It's just you that can't focus.
Yeah, I
I'm,
mean,
I'm
I'm
talking
locked in.
ball.
My fault. No, but it's like a Kentucky kid, and it's just like that's something. It's difficult to see him leave after, not receiving the playing time he probably always dreamed of.
Yeah, but like, it's tough. Yeah, he's a freshman on like a really good team, and yeah, he's a great player, and he was a great player at the state of Kentucky at the high school level. But like, that's the unfortunate thing with being a college basketball player is that you can be the best person in your town, county, state. You could be the all-time leading scorer.
And you're not even
history,
the top 8 on your
and
team
you're not
in
even
college.
top 8 on your team in college, and that's just the harsh reality of college sports. And so, like, I think it's good that he recognized, okay, I don't think I have enough opportunities here to say I'm going to leave. I'm going to just get some playing time. I'm going to have a few years of like fun college basketball, and then I'm going to be done with basketball forever.
Yeah.
It's kind of the sad truth.
I
for him.
did see some people comparing it to the Cassidy Rose situation a little bit.
I was
and I'm
thinking
like,
about it, but it's different.
It's very
It's so
different.
different,
It's
bro.
very
different.
different.
There were some people like, I don't know, just saying like, this is how you're supposed to do it. Props to Mark Pope, and it's like, bro,
Mark
what are
Pope,
you
get outta
talking
here.
Props to
about?
Mark Pope for what? Taking in
Yeah.
5 times his replacement and then forcing him to transfer? Like,
He didn't force him to transfer.
no,
though,
but
probably,
you know what
like,
I mean.
Yeah.
It's like with Cassidy Rowe, it's so different.
Yeah.
It's so different.
Anyways, but yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Wait, the new UK transfer that he transferred a while ago, from Alabama, Muhammad. I don't know how to say his last
Diabate.
name.
Oh,
Yeah. What about him?
He's
He's good. We
he's-
talked about him last week.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
he's going to
Solid.
be goated. Dennis Rodman
Didn't do
type
that.
guy.
huh?
Really?
What'd you say?
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman type guy.
Okay.
They're
I thought you
calling
said top guy.
Dennis Rodman's Top Gun.
No.
Type guy.
Just kidding.
Type role.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I think that's crazy. I think Dennis Rodman is
He reminds
hard.
me of like a
to compare
Mikal
people to.
Bridges
A Mikal Bridges.
without the 3 ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
He's just a defensive big. He's not necessarily a scorer. He's just rebound defense.
He'd be a great guy to
Mhm.
take off the bench, and
He-
he could start.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
but
but-
somebody good to come in and get a lot of points.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think.
I
play
do.
well.
I do want to segment because unfortunately it's the off season and we can get bland with this and keep yapping about the portal. Kentucky said they're done.
Yeah,
Done shopping.
done
So,
shopping. That's
they're-
11 scholarship players on the roster now.
Well,
There was 12
Yes.
before Travis left, so only 11.
No.
Yeah,
No, it would have been
bro.
13.
Do the
You have
math in your head.
Otega. You're not considering.
No, I'm considering Ortega.
Nah, there's currently 12 with Otega.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
So,
Do we think Ortega's?
yeah, he's
Uh,
definitely coming back.
he's
there's
coming back.
There's
No
still
doubt,
not a
no doubt in
question
your
about
mind?
that.
I thought he was entering the draft.
He is.
He
but
maintained his college eligibility.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's an option now. So
Yep.
I mean, I don't see a world where. I mean, I'm not gonna speak for him, obviously, but I don't think he's ready for the next step, and I think he knows that. It's just kind of like testing the waters,
Mhm.
see how good he does in the combine, stuff like that, and then
We never
never
know.
know.
He could
You never
show out
know,
in the
but-
combine. But as of right now, I saw he was ranked, I think, 87.
yeah. We were
on
talking
ESPN.
about this a little bit before class today, but there's just, like, in my mind, there's no way he's a first round pick.
and I think he.
No.
No way.
He's
He'll
such
be lucky
a-
to get picked
He's,
up in the
he's like
second round.
below. He's not very ranked. He's not ranked very high. Like
No.
Kobe Bryant is like 60th or something.
Exactly,
Like,
and they were
they're
like,
not.
oh well, he'll enter the draft just to see if he can go in the first round, and if he can go in the first round, then he'll stay, and if not, he'll go back to Kentucky. And
Yeah, I
just
think he's
there's
so
no
not
way.
going in the
There's
first
no way he
round.
goes in
No.
the first round.
BBN oriented now. It feels like he's part of the family. Feel like I really think I've heard him say like he's planning on coming back and stuff like that. Not verbally, but like just I don't know. He's alluded to the fact that he wants to be at Kentucky longer. So
You've just heard around the grapevine that
Yeah, I heard
no,
through the
no.
grapevine, yeah.
I'm just saying like I remember interviews of him just saying kind words of like Kentucky and wanting to be here. So I can
Yeah.
imagine.
You can't say much bad stuff about Kentucky though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like I can
sure.
imagine talking so gracefully, that he's just gonna up and leave like another.
Okay, so he hasn't
player.
said that, but you're basing it off what he has said
Yeah,
before.
like
I think if he was
Okay.
going to leave
Implications.
Kentucky for good, he would have left by now.
Yeah,
he would have
that's what
put
I'm
his
getting
name in
at.
the
He wouldn't have
draft and then
maintained-
entered the transfer portal.
Yeah.
He wouldn't
Yeah.
have said, "Oh, I'm going in the draft" or keeping my name at Kentucky. He
Okay,
would've
can I actually
ended
make a
it
hot
both.
take really quick about the transfer portal?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think it's low key it kind of gets rid of all like school loyalty ever.
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
don't. I
I
wish
don't
it
think
was
that's
like
a hot
I don't even
take.
think that's a
I
hot
think
take,
that's
yeah.
what the
Really?
transfer
Yeah,
portal
no,
is
it
now.
sucks.
because I
Yeah.
brought it up to my dad one time and he was like, "Well, with the NIL."
Your
and
dad doesn't know
stuff."
ball, dude. Because think about it. There's no. Sorry to your dad, and if he's watching this, sorry, but you don't know ball.
Sorry, Mr.
Because if there's
Gooch.
no loyalty, it's obvious. It's really obvious there's no loyalty, or else Travis Perry would still be at Kentucky. You gotta think of
Yeah.
it like
I mean,
guys like
are
that.
3 years, 3 different schools. That's
Yeah,
not
you got
loyalty.
guys-
That's just
you got-
bouncing around.
exactly.
It's where the money is, which is understandable with the new NIL thing. I mean, I would probably capitalize on it too.
Yeah, of course. If I was 17, 18 years old and I could make $500,000 playing basketball literally anywhere, I would just pick the place that seems the most fun to me and just get my bag.
Actually, wait, no. Talking about transfer portal and Kentucky players and everything. Guess who I saw the other day?
Who?
Yeah.
Walking around, just coming out of around like a corner. I saw Brandon Garrison.
Just
I look at it was
just
just me and
walking
him, and it was like coming out of an apartment
what's up,
building.
Brando?
And I look at him and I go, "You're Brandon Garrison," and I just walk away. Walk away, and he like laughs in my face because like yeah, and then
Yeah,
he
you
gets in
just
his
said-
like loud muscle car and drives off, and I'm like, I mean, yeah.
You're
Shout out to
Garrison.
BG, man.
I've been like, hey,
I
shorty.
just go, "You're Brandon Garrison," and I walk off like.
Oh my God! I've been
Listen.
like, you got room for a second in the whip? I need to ride to campus today. That's what I would have said.
Bruh.
Sorry he laughed at you, but he handled that exactly
Yeah,
how
he
you
handled
said.
that probably how I would've handled it,
probably
too.
would- Yeah, I would have handled that the exact
Just
same way.
laugh and then walk away.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, I had no intentions of stopping anyways,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I'm sure he'll remember that for the rest of his life.
Yeah, that's like I'm sure he
This
will.
weird girl.
I'll always remember the time Aaron Bradshaw called me big guy in Chick-fil-A line. He's like,
No
excuse me.
way.
He's like, excuse me, big guy. I'm like, you are 7'2", dude. I am 5'11" with shoes on. Don't do that to me.
Yeah, I'm like 6'2" with shoes on, so like
Yeah, all right, bro. Shut
You're
up.
not even like 5'6" with shoes on.
Wow.
cut that out.
No, that's staying in.
It's tough, dude. It's tough because it's like Gooch can take shots like that because she's like tall. So
Yeah, you can't
know what I
take
mean. You can't
crap,
say anything
yeah.
back because she's taller than you.
Like Gooch right now with a banana.
Yeah,
6
yeah,
foot.
definitely with the,
No,
the
with
tip of the banana.
From the tip down, I gotta be like 6'2",
Yeah.
6'2" at least.
AJ.
You about 6'7".
All right, bro. All right, dude.
Kai went like this. I had to
Come
say
on,
it.
bro. Let's keep talking about sports, though.
Yeah.
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 So I feel
Well-
like we've talked a good amount of ball. What is our next topic, Mr. Host?
Woo.
Baseball.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Baseball and softball.
Baseball,
AJ, you
softball.
have been attending a lot of games recently.
I have been attending a lot of softball games recently.
Lead us off. Tell us about it.
What you been seeing?
Let me tell you something. First and foremost,
Oh,
Coach Lawson,
dog.
the greatest interviewee you could ever have.
Yeah, she's.
She's going.
That's a good compliment.
Yeah, she honestly, in my year and a half of interviewing, amazing. She gives great quotes. She's always willing to talk to the media, and she cares about her players a lot. She's very detail oriented. She knows what players need to improve on each and every game. And let me look at their record right now because I know the record does not reflect the type of team they are.
Yeah, I got you. I got it pulled up
They're
here.
27-20.
Yeah, it's weird because everybody says that they're seeing a lot better than what they're playing at.
Because in the middle of the season, they had one of the hardest schedules in college softball.
They had a
Oh,
crazy
played
stretch of
ranked
like
after ranked
ranked,
after ranked
yeah.
series.
What are they in like their last 5?
Let's see.
They-
I know they've been winning.
They've
I know they
lost their
won against
last
Marshall.
3.
Okay.
They
Who
did lose.
They play last.
They lost 3 in a row against South Carolina the last
Yeah.
3 games.
Oh.
South
Yeah.
Carolina's
lost
ranked
to-
though. I mean, they're
South
number
Carolina's a
12. South
hard
Carolina is
team.
number
But
12.
That's a
before
hard
that,
team to
they
beat.
went 5-1
Yeah.
in their 6 games
they
before that.
kicked butt in the Boston tournament. They beat Marshall, undefeated against Marshall ever since they started playing. Beat WKU. Like, they are a solid team that can get a lot of runs. Amazing defense also. Like, a ball gets hit in the outfield, it's getting caught no problem. These girls are solid.
I will say, speaking of South Carolina, that's who the men have coming up next. And, I mean, they
Big
are
series
actually,
for the boys.
they're actually on a heater right now.
Yeah.
The season was looking very bad. And I know we talked about the downfall of the team after last season, but, like, going to Tennessee and being the number 2 team twice, taking the series, and then putting up 17 runs against a ranked Louisville team.
Yeah,
who beat you earlier in the
rolling them
season.
too is crazy.
Yeah. And then, I mean, got South Carolina this weekend, and it's like a South Carolina team that's, like, not too scary. Like, I'd be pretty confident that Kentucky could win that series. I mean, 6 in a row, then playing Western Kentucky, and then rounding out the season with a couple ranked opponents. Like, Kentucky is kind of getting in that realm where they could win 30 games this year again, be like a 3 seed in the tournament, and, like, that wasn't a conversation that was being had a week ago. So,
Yeah, a week ago it was, well, this team's probably not even going to make a regional.
A week ago, we were like, let's see what they do next year.
Yeah, exactly. It was they weren't going to make a regional. Right now they're 8-10 in the SEC. They probably need to win 15.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
15 to
15's
get to a
the,
regional,
like,
right?
guaranteed you're in.
Yeah.
There's been a team last year. There was 4 teams that made it because they're in the SEC point blank, and they had 13 wins.
Yeah, so I
So
mean
it's
they need 7 more wins. That would put them at 30 on the season. If they get South Carolina, Mississippi State, and Western Kentucky, they could do it. You know, they still have 3 series left on the season, and then 2 games, one against Northern, one against Western.
Yeah.
Other than that, you know, I think it's possible. But regardless, like, I don't think they won't go to Omaha.
Never know.
Is that your hot
Really?
take?
I'll never say
Your-
never.
I
I'll
feel like
never
that's kind
say
of a
never.
hot- yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
I'll
like that's
never
kind
I'll
of a
say
hot
that
take.
Kentucky's
I'll say
been to
it's
Omaha
unlikely.
one time, and it
Yeah.
was last year.
I'll say it's unlikely, but I'll never say never.
And
Yeah,
last
Because they're
year
getting
they were-
hot. You got to get hot at the right
You
time.
literally just
It's like the
said
Tar
they
Heels,
have
bro.
such
Like,
a
they're
good
getting hot
chance
at
in
the
this
right
back half of the season, and now you're gonna say
Yeah, but
no
you got to
way.
think about the
I don't
team
know.
last year was 46-16 and went 22-8 in the SEC and went to Omaha and, like, wiped the face of, like, half the teams there. Like, last year the team was, like, beating guys by, like, 15 every game. Like, the team was so much better last
Hey, bro.
season.
Look,
Not saying they're not good this year.
I do want to point out, though, like, they could have won, like, 8 games that got into extras this year.
Yeah, no, for
Imagine.
sure. It's just the star power and, like, the firepower coming from the transfers that they tried to rely on didn't really work. And
Yeah.
so they're kind of locking in a lot on, like, the bullpens, trying to pick themselves
Sadly,
back
an
up.
injury, too.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So, like,
That's a
That was
tough
rough.
one. That's really a tough injury to have, and in practice too.
yeah.
It's
It
baloney.
happened in practice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dang.
baloney. So I mean, baseball, softball, they got a chance to do something in the postseason, but I think it's kind of little.
And softball's future so bright because their main pitchers all freshmen.
Oh, really?
Yep.
And they're nice with it.
They're nice with it. They're
Good.
nice with
Yeah.
it. In the
But
past
same
couple
for
of games,
baseball,
they've
honestly.
only had freshman pitchers.
Like, you have a guy with Tyler Bell who got drafted to the MLB, bro.
Yeah, out of high
Like,
school and decided
Yeah.
to come here and play anyways.
I mean, that alone, and then the pitching staff is also very young. So,
Yeah.
bright futures for both programs.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break from the episode to play a new game that I put together called Kentucky Name Game. Game for today, a little different. I've been enjoying the experimenting with, like, new games towards the end of this as we start to run out of ideas. So the one for this week is I will give you words, real English words, none of it's gibberish, that when you say fast enough will sound like the name of a former Kentucky basketball player.
Okay.
But, like,
Awesome.
all
Okay.
players that, like, everybody knows.
Okay.
So, it'd be like Fullius Quandle, and it'd be Julius Randle. Is that a good?
No.
Okay, let's just
Well,
find out.
you
Let's
just said
play the first one
gibberish.
and we'll get it. All right, this is the first one. I said it's not gibberish. I literally said it's like
no,
a
but
real
what
English
Kai
word.
said was gibberish.
No, I'm saying that's why I'm saying he's a silliness. All right,
Silliness.
silly.
silliness. Here's the first one. Okay,
Okay.
Anthony
Anthony
Davis.
Davis.
there you go. Right, Aunt Honey Dave his. So, like,
Easy. Did you come up with these yourself, or did you like? Put 'em in?
yeah, I just, like, pulled up the list and I was like, Aunt
Oh.
Honey.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
gonna be easy then.
Yeah, it should be pretty easy.
Are you
It's
saying
like,
he's not
so.
creative?
Next one.
okay, anyway,
All right. That was our warm-up one, right?
yeah.
I'm
Now we
assuming
start the game.
Aunt Honey Dave his.
Okay,
That's
ready?
easy.
Next one.
Tyler
Tyler
Hero.
Hero.
Bro.
There you go. Okay.
We were just talking about this before the podcast. Too.
Yeah, we were.
Is that me or AJ?
Yeah. You
AJ.
I
got
don't know. That was.
Let's give it to AJ.
You gonna give that to AJ?
Yeah.
So that's 2.
rock,
yeah,
paper,
yeah.
scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. It's
Should
my
just
point.
let me decide.
Right?
Same
You're gonna be in the
outcome.
background of that one, just like
Okay.
watching them play.
Alex, next time we're going with yours. Next
So
time.
what is it? What's the score?
AJ won.
You won.
No.
No.
We all got a point for the Anthony Davis
Yeah.
one.
Oh, you get.
So
Okay.
I'll go 2-1-1.
2-1-1.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Darren Fox.
Yeah. Wow.
got it first.
Wow. Wow. You guys are doing a lot better than I thought you would. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm thinking like how a country boy would say it. Darren Fox.
That's a good way to do it, I guess, if it's working.
Because say
awesome.
it. Darren Fox.
Darren Fox. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's
Okay.
great.
That's how you got to do it, man. It works.
Okay.
Your own props.
All right. All right.
Yeah. Jamal Murray.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Murky's weird though.
Murky.
Yeah, Murky is kind of that's kind of
Jamal
out
Murky.
Bro, are you guys here like knocking my hustle? What game did you put together today, Gooch?
there. What the
Yeah. Yeah, that one's not very good.
Okay, but like
This one kind of sucks. Come on, bro.
No,
It's
it's
supposed to
okay.
get harder. That's the point.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So score check.
Yeah, score check.
2-1-2.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna win this game. I just can feel it in my nuts.
No, no, no.
No, they're there's still a lot
I'm keeping
of names.
that. I'm keeping that. Okay.
Tyrese Maxey.
Oh yeah, Tyrese Maxey.
I see it.
You
My
see-
brain just doesn't function like this.
Yeah.
Tyrese.
Okay,
Maxey.
I think there's 2 more.
Mm.
So what is it?
Please
3?
give me one.
No, the
It's
thing is, what we'll do is for the last one, it'd be worth like
double or
100
nothing.
points.
Quad points.
Okay.
So if you get it, you win.
That's what we did the last time.
Yeah, that's
too.
what we do
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
all of them.
I'm
Go
gonna
now.
back to when I
Two.
did. Where I said that Stanford was South Carolina or something like that.
Yeah. I'm a good host.
This one is a little bit of a stretch. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This next one's a
Wow,
little.
what's a surprise?
I'm going to get it.
Bellingham?
Let's go! Let's hear the claps.
Let's
We got the claps in there for Gooch. Good job.
It's tied.
Wow.
So
it's
it's
tied.
2-2, right?
Takes all.
I have 3.
You have 3? Oh.
3-2-2.
3-2.
Since when?
Since when?
Doesn't matter. The next one's worth 100 points.
Whatever, you're right. Next one
I've
was 100
called out the
points.
Oh, you
numbers
got
every
Maxey.
time.
Wow, I'm really happy that you got one. I'm not gonna lie. That made me happy.
Rob Billingham.
I'm
Rob
happy with how
Billingham.
happy you got about it.
Okay, last one. Last one. You ready?
Yeah. Willie Cauley-Stein.
Wow.
So what is
I
that?
had to get it.
Is that 3-3 though?
3-3-2.
3-3-2. Dang.
Yeah.
So you guys tied, or is the last one worth
Me and
1,000?
The
AJ
last
tied.
one worse is like 1,000.
No,
Or
me
do,
and
or, do,
AJ tied.
or do you
yeah.
guys want a tiebreaker?
Let's
I'd
do
like a
tiebreaker. Yeah.
And
Do you want to help
if
me
Gooch,
come up with a tiebreaker?
What's a tiebreaker?
if Gooch ties it up,
like one of these. For,
That's not gonna happen.
he could.
I
We
can
could.
feel it. I mean, we
no,
could.
Gooch can't do the tiebreaker because she's not tied with you.
I'm not tied.
Oh.
Exactly.
Gooch has 2. You guys both have 3.
Okay,
Oh.
so
So
you two figure out a tiebreaker for me
We
and
could
Kai real
do-
quick.
dance off.
Oh, that would be really good.
No.
Just like
A dance battle in front of
10
the-
second.
I'd let AJ win by default.
Because you're what? Embarrassed?
If you
I only
do
know
a
the
contemporary
shoot.
dance for us right now, AJ,
A
you win the game.
Contemporary dance.
Yeah.
I only know the
I don't know
shoot.
how to spell contemporary, so
So
not
give
gonna
yourself some
happen.
Journalism major,
credit.
That's embarrassing.
You are
Your
truly.
face is embarrassing. Okay.
Whoa.
God.
Here, pass this down. Pass this down. Pass this down to AJ. I'm dapping you up, bro. Pass that. Can you, wait. No. We all gotta be holding hands.
What?
I saw this on a
What are you trying to
podcast.
do?
Dap her
I don't know
up.
if I want to hold
Now
Kai's
dap.
hand.
Now dap that up. There you go. So I just dapped up AJ through there.
There we go.
You know, I just dapped him up down the line.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I really
Okay.
feel-
Nice game, huh?
I've had the
Oh,
same
wait.
stupid face for like the past 5 minutes.
You've
'cause
had the
of
same
that.
stupid face for the past 21 years, bro.
You're 21.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about a little bit of golf, a little bit of club sports action, a little bit of whatever.
A little bit of NBA action.
A little bit
Can I
of
talk
NBA.
about that?
We're gonna talk about a little bit of everything. Starting off here with the handball club team. Shout out! Finally, we're giving the shout outs.
The University of Kentucky club handball team in
Yes.
their first
Long awaited.
season as a club.
National champions. Yeah, I mean, you
Congratulations.
gotta clap it up. National
Impressive.
champions.
That's got to be one of the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, I
in
couldn't
Kentucky
imagine.
history.
Real
Handball
recognizes
history.
real.
Like that's
Wow.
that's making history right there. And
I mean, imagine like you making your club's Instagram account, and then within a year you could put on their 2025 college national.
like, come
champion.
on, if only their
D2
marketing
champs.
was a little bit better, you know?
Yeah, I mean they need you.
Because no one like no one really knows about them. So it's like I think
They
if
will.
I mean it's impressive.
It is really impressive. So shout out the handball team. I know absolutely nothing about handball.
I would love to get to get in on one of those practices and kind of see what they're.
Look at these highlights.
Can
well, they
not
got
ru-
highlights. I mean, I'm watching some right now on my computer.
And they are nice with it. And
I've seen them at the gym.
a technical reason why I think they're so successful, these practices, it looks like they're practicing on volleyball courts and playing in the sand.
Don't
That's
they
got to give them an
play on-
advantage.
Yeah, playing on the sand.
Yeah, I
definitely.
did notice that they were
What-
doing something on
like
the
what
sand.
terrain do they play on?
They just play on a basketball court.
Okay, so the
it's-
terrain, the sand thing definitely gives them
The
an
sand-
edge.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure that was like when you see like Tom Brady and like Odell Beckham,
Yeah.
running on the sand, trying to
'Cause
be
it's
all
harder.
inspirational.
Really
It
Yeah.
definitely, it definitely looks like it's a mix between like
Make
water
sure.
polo and basketball.
So to the president of the handball club, Murillo, he's Brazilian. I'm assuming it's.
Is it 2 L's?
No, it's 1 L.
Oh,
I'm gonna assume it's
I don't know what
Murillo.
you should even say.
Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, but
Sorry,
To
if
you,
I
sir.
mispronounced your name.
if it was
We
your
give
idea to
you-
practice in the sand, solid technical
Good idea.
choice.
We give you lots of props.
Also, I really like their social media presence looks good. You know what I mean? Like they
Their
look
graphics are cool.
the professional
They
graphics.
do
like
look. Yeah. I mean, their marketing is like good, but it's not like many people know about it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like they could be doing better. It does look pretty cool.
Oh, it looks like they got some organization recognition milestone last night on their Instagram story. They're posting up with some
Heck
trophies.
yeah.
Yep.
And
they
the
did-
Scratch.
they did-
Scratch showed up.
Scratch
showed
was
up to
there.
the award ceremony.
Shout out Scratch.
How many followers? do they
I want to
have?
be Scratch. more than anything in
335
my
now that
entire
I
life.
followed them.
They're getting there.
They're getting
Hey.
there.
Shout out UK handball.
Shout out UK handball.
They have what seems to be a bright future ahead of them.
yeah,
In your
100%.
first season, getting a
Getting a
D2
natty.
natty.
Natty under
That's
the belt.
that kind of reminds me of Magic Johnson getting his
His finals NBA
as
finals
a rookie.
MVP as a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
This might be like kind of act like I don't know ball, but is Magic Johnson dead?
No, he's
no.
he's not. He is still kicking.
He's,
How old is he?
he's probably in his 60s.
He's got to be
70s.
pretty
Yeah,
close.
he's in
Oh.
his 60s.
Probably.
No,
Never
he's
mind.
very active. I was on a Zoom call with him one time. He's very active.
He's 65.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
You were not on a Zoom call.
I
with
was on a
Magic
Zoom call
Johnson.
with him.
Why are you doubting that?
Dude, I
you
have
jealous?
the video saved in my.
What?
Did you talk to
Zoom
him?
call were
Or
you
was it
on?
like
I
a-
typed in a question and he answered.
You
it.
didn't. You
No,
didn't
I
like.
didn't. I didn't get to talk to him,
Soft.
unfortunately.
Soft. Why? Can you just like walk us through the parameters of this?
So it was for. He was doing a Zoom call for military troops, and
Oh,
yeah.
right.
So your parents
Forgot
were
you're
on there.
military.
yeah.
family.
So my dad was on there, and I had
Okay.
to, just hi Magic.
Bro, don't act like you were like not enjoying it.
I was so happy.
I'd have been like,
I-
oh my god, it's Magic Johnson.
I took notes. I still
You know what I would
watched
have said to him? Larry's better.
I would have said.
Boston.
Boston.
I would have said. Can you share your opinions on LeBron, please?
All right.
And then-
He gave me a good what's it called?
What'd you ask him?
Plan for life. I was
Is that
like-
what you asked him? Like, can you like
Can you plan out
plan out my life,
please?
please?
it was
Hey,
along
Mr.
those
Magic.
lines, but he gave
Mr.
a
Magic,
good,
sir, can you please plan out my whole entire life?
he gave a good 10-minute answer.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was like,
That's when you
have
knew you
a
wanted to be a
5-year
journalist?
plan for your whole life.
See, no, you should just go with the flow because if your 5-year plan doesn't work out, then you're cooked.
Yeah, then you're
You're
terrified.
gonna be super. I think that's really
I think
bad
5-year
advice
plans are
on Magic
horrible
Johnson's
ideas,
part.
but that's okay. That's
Sorry,
just
but-
personal. This is not a personal podcast.
Sorry, Magic
Let's-
Johnson.
This is sports.
Let's go back to sports.
So let's talk about
Yeah.
sports.
Hey, NBA. While
Well,
we're
hold
on
on.
Magic.
Well, technically, we are
This
talking
is
about
true. This is true.
Yeah.
But Alex wanted to talk about golf.
golf.
Masters.
Rory
Masters.
McIlroy, my goat.
Shout out. Is he your goat?
Actually, so here's
John
what,
Rahm's my goat.
All right.
Okay, so the
That's-
Masters. Gooch,
let's-
lead us into
Let's
it.
talk about real golf.
Well, Rory McIlroy's been trying for like 11 years. Finally got his
Finally got the Grand
fourth major. So, and I cried. I did shed a
Grand
tear,
Slam,
You
baby.
which
did?
is funny because like this is actually the first year I've kind of really got into golf, and now I'm obsessed with it. Bought my first set of clubs a few weeks ago, and
I love going golfing. I'm so bad at it.
oh
It
yeah,
is so fun.
what's your handicap?
I haven't even reached that point yet.
Yeah, well,
I haven't even like. I have probably played like 2 full rounds of golf. Like, I'm still working on my shot at the range, you know? Like, I started
Yeah,
like
totally.
2 years ago, so I'm just like,
See, you're just not into it like that. I feel like I hit my first ball, and now I'm like, I literally went golfing 7 times in 5 days.
yeah, no, I mean,
Heck yeah.
I will say all my clubs are back in New Hampshire, so I don't
You're
have.
from New Hampshire?
Yeah,
We've had this conversation.
we have, but it's fine. Yeah, I don't have any clubs here, but I'd love to go golfing.
But no, honestly,
I thought Bryson DeChambeau was gonna win.
Let's go
everyone
golfing.
did, and I don't know. I'm honestly, I was okay with it if he won, but I wanted Rory McIlroy to win just because he's been chasing that title for so long.
Yeah, and
But
he was
everyone like
finally-
hates on him. Apparently, he's like not like the best guy in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
He is
I like-
Irish, and they can come across.
I know, but I think it's how they come across.
I know.
I
to be fair,
always thought
I
he
come
was a good
across that
person.
way, so I'm
Wow.
okay with it. Like
What's
I
all
was
this
saying.
Irish slander I'm not
No,
aware of?
No, you've never
I'm
heard that,
Irish, so
like,
it's
people-
okay.
Nope.
Bryson DeChambeau, internet personality turned Masters golfer.
He is
He was
an
an
internet.
internet personality?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
has
You
like
didn't
he's
know
like
Bryson
an
was an-
Instagram reeler, TikToker, YouTuber.
I'm not
Really?
gonna lie, his YouTube shorts keep coming up.
Did you see the
They're
one
kinda
where
fun.
they give like fans chances to hit over his house, and then this guy in his like 4th or 5th try, he hit it over the house and got a hole in one and won $500,000.
Wow.
I feel
I
like
know.
you need much more money than that.
I know, but the thing is like
But
they're
that's still
shooting
awesome.
over this
Yeah.
huge glass house,
That's terrifying.
and it's like if I did that, fully shattered.
yeah, I'm putting a hole in the window.
Yeah.
My first shot.
But no, and anyways, back to the Masters talk.
Yeah.
I was definitely always going to be between him and
Yeah, because I
McIlroy.
mean that they were 1 and 2 on the leaderboard. Like DeChambeau dropped down a tied 5th at the end, but I mean Rory like after day 2 was up by like 4 strokes, 5 strokes or something
yeah,
like
but
that.
he always chokes. Did
Yeah,
you?
well,
I think
and
it
that's
was the
why
first
everyone was
time-
like, "Oh, I don't know, like day 3, you never know what happens.
Yeah.
It only matters on Sunday."
But
he balled out.
It was the first time they've done a playoff, a certain death playoff since like a sudden death playoff. Sorry, since like 2017, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been close to like 20 years
Yeah.
since they've done something like that.
That was crazy.
It was pretty awesome to witness, especially since after what I don't even know, Justin Rose
Yeah.
missed it. I was like, if he makes this, I'm gonna cry. I started sobbing. Did
You
anyone else
cried.
shed a tear, or is that just
I
A little bit.
I
mean,
only
during
shed
the
tears when-
presentation.
the Celtics win.
Okay.
Sorry, I just
That's
had to
not
go there.
happening, thank goodness, for a long time.
Well, I shed a single tear when we won the finals last year, so I will tell you that.
While we're on NBA,
And
we can.
I will shed another tear when we go back to back, and I'll shed another tear when I'm at the parade and I'm sending you.
Okay,
guys
well,
videos.
to shut you up about Boston, but to stay on NBA, the Wildcats
cool.
have a
Yeah.
couple of guys leading teams in the playoffs right now.
The
Yes.
most notable is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Obviously.
He's, MVP
Um,
conversation, leading number 1 seeded Thunder, and they
Led
have
the
been
league in
who are
points.
just absolutely
they
cooking the
smacking
Grizzlies right now.
Grizzlies. That the
51.
difference in points
first
is
game, right?
insane.
I'm pretty sure it was the 5th largest in NBA history, and then it was the largest in the first round.
Yeah,
mean,
it was
so-
the largest first round playoff loss.
It shows
It's
the
a
kind of
rough loss.
products Kentucky guards be doing in the playoffs.
And I
Um,
said something to my roommate yesterday, and it was like, I mean, Ja said after game 1 that we'll never. Still fighting the costume over there.
Yeah.
Ja said after game 1, it was like, we'll never lose this bad ever again, and it was like,
and then
okay,
proceeded
you'll probably
to
lose by
just as bad
20
the
and
next game.
30, but at least it won't be by 51. Like, sure,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
fine promise to make to your fans.
I mean, Shea's a product of those big wins, though, and even though he's only 26, like, he's been leading this team for
3-4 years
it feels
now.
like 3 years now, and
He's only 26, but he has the knowledge of all the guys
Yeah,
that
he
came
got in the
before.
league
That
young,
Chris
you know.
Paul, that Chris Paul effect is really working wonders
he
on
spent
Shea.
a lot of time with a lot of good guards and was able to, he had time on the Clippers, sitting back for a little bit, and then made it to the Thunder, had years with Chris Paul, but
Yep.
And
he
I
is
mean,
doing crazy work right now.
he honestly has everything to prove, because now the Thunder being the 1 seed again, they can't, like,
They're almost
anything
fully
short of the
healthy.
finals or the Western Conference Finals, like, is a failure.
I
if
feel
they don't
like
make it
even
there.
this season for that Thunder team, if they don't make the finals, it's a failure. Because you got to think about how many games they won, in the
60.
conference they won them in, against whom. Like, they lost 1 game against
Yeah.
the Eastern Conference all season, which is crazy. They went
Yeah.
like, what, 26-1 or something like
About.
that. And then, like, you come in, you're wiping the floor in the first few games. I assume they'll sweep the first 2 rounds. Like, I really don't see them losing many games in the whole playoffs.
Even if they face the Nuggets or Clippers, that's not a sweep.
Next
not a
round,
sweep.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It'll be a 5 or 6 probably. But
Jokic, one of the greatest guys,
but like
or
realistically,
James
like
Harden,
from a
Kawhi
team
Leonard.
standpoint, you know what I mean? Like, you're looking at it from like
Oh,
basketball
they're
is
making it far.
Basketball is a team sport.
Yep.
So you can't go and say, oh, Jokic, he's great, so that team's gonna.
That's
do
why
well.
I think the Clippers are going to win that series, just because they have a more fundamental, sound team.
I think that they have a better chance of going far with what they have right now than what the Nuggets do, especially
Nuggets
with
are
the
in
situation.
shambles.
Well, the problem that they're having right now with coaching and everything,
There's some locker room troubles. I
Exactly,
heard.
and they're-
Like Aaron Gordon's face looks like he got beat up by the entire team.
He looks like he got jumped, and he said that he like tripped and fell or something.
Like,
but
no, he has a busted eye
He has a
and
busted
lip.
eye and a fat lip.
You
Like,
don't trip and fall and look like that.
no, and this
Yeah.
face is blown up. This side of his face is blown up, and this side of his eye is blown up. Like those
Yeah.
are 2 different sides of his face.
You can't fall and hit a chair in that angle.
No, sir. I fell up the stairs one time and busted my lip, but that was the whole thing.
You fell up the stairs.
Fell
How do you
up
fall up the
stairs.
stairs? That's
I
kind
was
of
carrying a glass of water and a bowl of ice cream for my mom. I was being a very good son, and I was walking up the stairs, and I slipped, and I had things in my hands, so I didn't have anything to catch myself with. So I just donk, and I like hit my top lip
Did you
right
save
on the
the
stair.
ice cream though?
Yeah, nothing fell.
Oh,
But
that's actually.
my gums were like ripped
Okay.
open, and my mouth is pouring blood.
So getting off of your injury,
Yeah.
let's move to
I mean,
other Wildcat
you guys
little teams.
asked.
We got Bam and Tyler.
Guys
Leading
asked.
the Heat. Unfortunately for
Leading the
them,
Heat to
they're
a-
the 8th seed. And
Leading the
going
Heat
up
to a
against the
first
Cavs.
round playoff loss.
Yep, it's dunzo for them.
Yeah, they
It's
play again
dunzo.
tonight.
Unfortunately, when
Tyler
you're-
Hero having a crazy 38 and then 30 his last 2 games for
Yeah.
playing in the first game versus the Cavs.
obviously he had a great year, 24 and 6 basically on this season, all-star, like had a great year leading the team,
It's just they lost Jimmy and they don't really
Well-
have the help that they usually do. Like those role players are not role playing at
but
all.
I think that he's finally able to be that guy.
Yeah.
And I think that Tyler, while he was younger and having Jimmy mentor him into becoming who he is now, maybe as a player, not so much as a person, but like bringing him to where he is now, you can see like Tyler Hero is like a whole different player than he was 2 years ago. You know,
He
what I
has
mean?
the ability to lead a team now.
And
That's
so
the biggest
now,
difference.
Exactly. And so as he gets older, I think the Heat, like him and Bam, will be a great duo to have. But regardless, a 37 and 45 Miami Heat team going up against a 64 and 18 Cavs team,
It's
who
done for.
look great. The Cavs look great. At least they did in the first
And
game.
what's weird, I hate to say it, but Bam Adebayo looks like he's hit his peak. Like this season, it was a carbon copy of last season, except it was a slightly worse end. He got very inefficient, wasn't getting the rebounds like he usually does. Still paint protector, but it's gonna be weird how that plays out. How Tyler Hero's still improving like crazy, but Bam's like capping off.
Yeah, you're only seeing like so much of him every week. It feels like, and it's less and less every week with him. At least this season, it was like,
Yeah.
okay,
This
like
season, it was
like
a
we're getting like
downfall.
consistently, I mean, he was 18, 9 and 4 is what he put up this year, and that's real good. Like
And-
that's obviously really good, but
But all that for a first round exit.
yeah.
it's-
But compared to last season, like he had 19, 10 and 4, so he's like slightly down than he was last year. Nothing
Yeah,
crazy.
because this year he has 18, 9, and 4 on
Yeah.
48% shooting.
But it just seems like the last 4 or 5 years he's been floating around that 18 to 21 points per game with like that 9 to 11 rebounds per game. But I think if he kind of can solidify to be that big guy down low
Yep.
for Tyler, I think that he
Yeah.
could do something.
A different big man, though, who's having a great time with his team,
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns
Yeah.
and the Knicks. They're doing great. Where do you guys think? How far are the Knicks going to run?
I
Don't
think they
ask
get
me.
beat in the first round. Honestly.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't
I'm a
know.
believer in
Really?
Detroit.
I really like what Detroit's doing, but at the end of the day,
Like
this
Towns
Knicks team
gonna
is
play good in
much
game
better.
2.
Sorry, you guys
I
are
mean,
dead wrong.
No,
I
no.
think no. I'm with
Pistons are
you.
not getting
The
out
series-
the
I'm
first
with
round.
you.
The
The
series
Knicks
is
are gonna win
going
the
back
first
to
round.
Detroit 1-1 though.
Okay. It's a 7-game series. I'm
You're
not
telling me
worried
that
about
you're telling me that place ain't gonna be turned.
Motor
Yeah, but
City
you're
ain't
telling
Motor
me
City
that
no more.
New York doesn't have the ability to walk into
They beat
Detroit
them
and
in
also go
MSG.
1-1. I'm saying the same thing can happen the other way around. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter where
No.
you win the games, bro.
That's not true.
Oh my
The
goodness.
underdog has the
Kai,
advantage winning
this
those home
Piston
games.
team has no playoff
No.
experience, and the small vets that they do have on the team never show up in the
I don't
playoffs.
care, bro.
Never do. They're not
Argue-
getting out the first round.
Argue with the wall.
Tobias
Got
Harris
Pistons.
is the most experienced guy on the Pistons, and he's
Yeah.
not helping them at all besides saying
got-
this is what to
I got
expect.
The Knicks
Pistons
scored
in
94 points in the last game, right? 94 points against the Pistons. They had a bad game. They were 117 points a game in the regular season. They scored 123 in the first game, and then had a bad game against Detroit in game 2.
Villanova
They will win
plus
this
the
series in
University
5.
of Kentucky on that New
They're
York
going
team.
to win 3
Okay.
games in a row, and it is going to be done with the
We'll
Pistons.
see.
Absolutely.
No
But
doubt about it.
a more up and down series with a Wildcat in it. I know you've been paying attention to it
Yeah.
a lot. Rockets versus Warriors. I
Yeah,
have
But
to
you know,
shout
your
them out.
Wildcat's not even touching the court.
Yeah,
I
we don't have
know,
to
but-
mention Reed, man.
It's
It
tough. You
sucks.
can't really talk
But the
about Reed in
Rockets
this
in
series.
6.
Yeah, Rockets at 5 actually.
We'll
Rockets in
see.
5.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yep.
It'd be cool if they were able to finally
Rockets at 4 low key.
overcome their overlord.
Last game didn't count.
Finally make it past the Warriors.
Thank you for watching and listening to another week of Kernel at the Buzzer. Make sure to check us out on Twitter at KY Kernel Sports and check out our website at kykernel.com. Once again, I've been your host, Kai McClelland, and we want to thank you for catching up with the Kernel.